Hey, noble ones, today we're talking about slop. Literally my favorite food after pasta and pizza and lasagna, beef, in fact anything that has ever been cooked or conceived by mankind. But boom, history slop is going mainstream now. Oh goodness. What is it, AI? Let's go.
So someone recently sent me this video.
I'm in Pompeii, 79
AI.
AD, and that is Mount Vesuvius.
It's an influencer time traveling to the past, and her videos are insanely popular.
Yep.
She's even winning awards.
Wow, this is surreal.
It's AI, but people that normally hate AI say they love this. As a historian, it's painful to watch.
I understand 100%, brother.
It's full of errors, and it gives people the illusion they're getting real historical information.
It has to come down if you've wildly misrepresented something, in my opinion.
The Amstel definitely wasn't Amsterdam's highway to the world. In this video, I'll tell you why I think this kind of content is not just innocent entertainment. I'll fact check her videos, but first, let's start. Who is this Chloe?
No, it's a guy. It's a guy. I've seen the interview.
So the channel is called Chloe versus History. The idea of the channel is of an influencer traveling to the past and then vlogging about it. At first glance, it looks really convincing, and it also is, well, entertaining.
Secundus, I voted for you.
¿Qué dices?
Thesis. Oh yeah, the Latin is not great.
Now, even though some people in the comments are confused, this Chloe herself is not this girl who uses AI to put herself in the history. Chloe is just another male fantasy AI doll. We know this because Sky News found the creator, a British guy named Jonathan, and he explains the moment he struck gold.
I was pretty impressed with that look.
So this was the birth of Chloe.
Yeah, this is where it all started.
Now, Jonathan is not the first. AI history content has been around for some time.
Ooh, AI history content. I don't know if those words should be together, but he's absolutely right. And most of the times it's slop. With this specific creator, the Chloe one, at least it's like within the sea of shapeless, formless slop. This would be like the crop. It would be like a little bit better. But as we just saw, the Latin was pretty bad. And in general, it seems to try to put some work into it, but I still strongly oppose the format myself, because again, he's gonna give prompts, so the AI at the end of the day is gonna do things, and eventually, because he's getting a massive reward for it, he's gonna let a lot of things go, because sometimes AI, you can give whatever prompts you want, it just won't do it right.
Most of them are quite easy to spot, unless you're boomer on Facebook. But this seems different, not only because we're really close to a moment that we won't be able to distinguish what's real from what's AI, but also because Jonathan really seems to care about history.
He does. Yeah, there we go, guys. This is Chloe. By the way, this is Chloe right here. I think he does put work into it, but it's still AI.
Yes, there are people out there that obviously don't care about history because there are mistakes left, right, and center. I'm trying to create something a bit more meaningful.
I wanted to look at his content to see if he is also producing AI slop, or
Yeah, let's do it together.
or if it's actually good, grounded history content. I want to discuss 4 videos. The first criticism will be about details the AI can't get right. But then they just get worse and worse. Let's start with the Pompeii one. At the time of writing, this has over 7 million views.
I'm in Pompeii, 79 AD, and that is Mount Vesuvius.
I saw another creator that made some points about how accurate this all is. I double-checked some of these points and will tell.
Let me double check that mountain very quickly. Mount Vesuvius. Let me see.
Let's start with the Pompeii one. At the time of writing, this has...
I'm waiting because there is the writing here and I can't see it. I need to see the top of the mountain.
over 7 million views.
I'm in Pompeii, 79 AD, and that
Okay. Because the top should not, like, it should have the full peak. Because if the peak is missing, it has already exploded. If you look at actually the pictures of the representation of mosaic in period of Mount Vesuvius, it doesn't look like a volcano. It looks like a normal mountain with a full peak. It's just that the final top lid, if you will, of the mountain exploded during the eruption and it became cut.
is Mount Vesuvius.
I saw another creator that made some points about how accurate this all is. I double checked some of these points and will tell them to you. So literally the first frame, we have loaves of bread. They look like French baguettes or something, and that's just not real. We actually know how the bread of Pompeii looked because everything got carbonized, right? So the bread that they actually found in Pompeii are these round loaves that have been
with the lines
scored into these wedges. Also directly in the background, you can see people in togas. But the people in togas, they would be senators. And senators are very rich and they have people that will do their groceries for them. So you wouldn't find them just there at some stall getting some food for the family. All these people walking in the street, it doesn't make any sense. In this time, you would have a lot of horses on the street and horses are not potty trained. And these streets would be really, really dirty. So to pass these streets, we have these stepping stones that they actually used. These have been preserved and have been documented. Okay, so she's running on the streets away from the volcano with the volcanic rock.
Yeah, it's another characteristic is that everything has no color. Now, I've seen so this is maybe specifically a discussion on this one video, and I guess why? Because there is a certain random aspect within the AI, particularly if you want to post a lot because you're making a lot of money because you're getting a lot of views. And so, for instance, these are all bland and there is no color, and in fact they look like ruins already before becoming the ruins that they actually became due to the explosion. So the reality is that this would have been full of color, and then believe it or not, I like that one of these guys has a sleeveless tunic. This would be the most common version. Instead, here is flipped, but that could be anecdotal. They have a lot of sleeved and only one sleeveless. Well, at least there is one. So I appreciate that. And I have seen other videos from Chloe where the temples do appear to be in color. So I imagine the creator is aware of it.
Falling towards the volcano, it didn't erupt like this. For hours and hours, the better part of the day, it was already raining volcanic ash. This also means that most of the people actually got
suffocated
out safely. It was actually blasts of heat that killed the people that were left in Pompeii.
Yeah, heat and suffocation. I do remember suffocation being mentioned as one of the...
You get the picture. There's more stuff wrong with it,
of course.
But I would suggest you check out the other creator that made a short about this. I've linked this in the description. Okay. Let's look at another one about the Black Death.
Ooh.
You guys asked me to travel to London in
Yersinia pestis bacterium.
1348 during the freaking Black Death.
Okay, so we're in the Black Death in medieval times, 1348 in London. Some important context for this video that Chloe doesn't explain is that London at this time was home to the biggest yearly wet t-shirt contest of Europe. Chloe has participated.
So I found a plague doctor, and honestly, he is giving very Halloween costume.
The mask is not. Yeah, he's gonna talk about them.
How many patients are you seeing a day right now?
As many as God sends me.
This is a common mistake you'll find everywhere on the internet. True. The reasoning for these masks is that they thought bad air would carry disease. And to stop that, they had masks they would then completely fill with herbs and stuff. But they are not from the 1300s.
They are later inventions.
The mask came from the 1600s in Italy. The plague didn't just hit Europe once and then die out. It was caused by this bacterium, Yersinia pestis, and it would come wave after wave. And then maybe decades later, plague would come back again. One from 541 to about the 700s. The second one from the mid-1300s until far into the 1800s.
I really like this guy. He knows his shit.
And a third one in the 19th century, ending as late as 1950.
Oh, and this red cross means plague is inside this house. The whole family sealed in. Nobody allowed to leave, nobody allowed to enter.
Okay, we see a red cross and some AI gibberish text. The cross is there to stop people from going inside, to letting people know that there's a plague here. It's a quarantine. I wasn't really sure if this was already in the 1300s, so I did some research and yeah, not in 1300s. In 1660s, there's another plague epidemic in London, and this is where you find these plague crosses. But
because, I mean, if you think about it, I appreciate he actually looked it up. But it does make sense even logically that the first wave, they're not prepared for this kind of stuff. But the second wave, since they have learned from the first one, because a lot of these are survivors, right? Then it makes sense that local authorities will actually implement better quarantine mechanics like that.
Not 300 years earlier. So, 2 videos. A lot of errors, a lot of simplification, but these were some of the first videos he made. And he's been called out in the comments that the content is not true. So maybe he changed his ways. At the time of writing, the latest video he posted was this one from 10,000 BC.
Wow.
Okay, so
Hey, at least I appreciate the guy doesn't say BCE. That's a point for me.
I don't even know where to start. I am standing in 10,000 BC right now.
Now, 10,000 BC is a long time ago. It's prehistory. It's before written sources. I don't know much about prehistory. I know enough to see that a lot is going wrong here. To be sure, I asked my friend Stefan to give his perspective. Stefan, you might know him from his
Stefan Milo?
archaeology channel, where he uses academic sources to inform you about the past.
Okay.
Our Earth, before literally everything. Nobody has built anything. Nobody has broken anything. It's just perfect.
Controversial statement from the
It is a very controversial statement. What do you mean no one built anything? Of course they did.
get-go there.
But first, I want to show you where I've been traveling. So I'm now in Bulgaria for a video and spending a lot of time on the road.
Cool. Is this a sponsor or what?
The sponsor for today is actually making that a lot easier.
What is
Over the
it?
years, I've done a number of sponsors, and I like them all. But there's only one that my girlfriend loves, and that is Metasleep. No, I'm not kidding you. Before this, I never really used sleep masks. I didn't think they really worked. Since I've been
sleep
sponsored by them a few years ago,
Wow, okay,
I've been...
let's see if there's a code. I always show the code.
Let's get back to the video.
No. Before we get back to the video, we gotta see the code. Meta Sound Sleep Mask.
Your trip, or whenever you need it.
I'm gonna see in his. Oh goodness gracious! What was that? What was that? What happened? Thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Use my code PRESENTPAST, guys. Get that 10% off. Come on.
Go to the link in the description and use my code PRESENTPAST for 10%
Okay.
off your next purchase. And now
Splendid.
let's get back to the video.
Thank you.
10,000 BC, nothing has been built.
Nothing
That's
has been
nonsense.
built.
Yeah.
Quite a lot has been built.
Of course.
Quite a lot has been built. Quite a lot is in the process of being built. It's so interesting that she uses that phrase because this is like the very start, actually, of monumental architecture. There's sites like Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe, the Tower of Jericho, very famous. And
Yeah, you don't want to go into the Göbekli Tepe situation.
and that's just the stuff we know about, right? There's so much we don't know, and there's so much made by wood that has probably perished.
Yeah, any organic material. Imagine all the thatch work.
They had art, real art. Someone put their hand against this wall tens of thousands of years ago and just made something.
I'm assuming she's in Europe because of like the population we later go on to see. So in a European context, hand stencils would have been made, way before then, 20,000 years before then, 30,000 years before then.
To be fair, okay, I hate AI history content. It's my nemesis, so maybe more correctly, I hope to be the nemesis of them. But she did say tens of thousands of years ago. She did say that.
But hand stencils do get made across the world at different times. So it is like quite a universal human symbol. So I suppose we can give her a pass for that. But definitely in like a European context, it happened a lot before 10,000 BC. Now, these are Neanderthals for sure. There's no way they don't intend for these to be Neanderthals because it's based on really famous depiction of Neanderthals.
Why is it an issue that there are Neanderthals in 10,000 BC in
They were already gone.
this video?
Well, we have absolutely no evidence of Neanderthals surviving 40,000 years ago. So I suppose...
Yeah, so we coexisted between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals for, I think, as long as 50,000 years, if I remember correctly. Prehistory is not my area of specialization, but I do remember looking into this when I was making a few videos about it. So we coexisted for a very long time. But yeah, no, 10,000 years ago, they were already gone.
They're 30,000 years out of sync with the reality, which, is an insanely long time when you...
That is a massive mistake, to be honest, and it's surprising. I mean, honestly, all you need to do is Google when were Neanderthal around after you have decided that the temporal setting of your shorts is 10,000 BC. Also, because remember, 10,000 BC, it's not 10,000 years ago. 10,000 BC is 8,000 years ago because you have the +2 from year 1. So 8,000 years ago is really what we're talking about if she's discussing 10,000 BC. Neanderthal? Yeah, put the dinosaur out while you're at it.
You think about it, in your perception of human history, being off by 30,000 years is quite a lot.
Hair tie?
They're
And also they would speak.
using these unga bunga sounds. Do they have language? What is the consensus about that?
I think there's absolutely no reason to think that Neanderthals didn't have language. There's no reason anatomically to think.
They probably had music as well. Have you ever seen the kind of jewelry that Denisovans were able to produce? You know, it's impressive. I don't want to say it. I mean, when you compare it to the average Reddit user, my money's on the Denisovan when it comes to IQ, guys.
They didn't have language. The more we learn about them, the more we understand that they're creating art, symbolic thinking. It's important to never assume that they were just like us. You know, you always have to keep that in mind. You can't assume anything. Because fundamentally, we know genetically, like, we interbred with them.
Yes.
And you could say, like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. But we still carry their DNA within us now. So it's not just a one-night stand in some lonely cave. Like, we interbred with them. Their children were successful enough in that community to also pass on their genes.
Yeah, the three of us here probably do have Neanderthal DNA. I don't think black people have Neanderthal DNA, but we definitely do, depending on where you're from.
It's hard to imagine a scenario like that if they didn't have language. Language is everything to us.
I agree.
And for sure, by 10,000 BC, every human across the planet has language. I mean, we've almost certainly had language for hundreds of thousands of years in some way.
And I do want to add, even written language, I know that written language is, of course, right? Because if we're talking about prehistory, is before the advent of writing, up to what we understand. Because do you think that if something that we think to be prehistoric, but then we end up discovering that they had some form of cuneiform that predated what we think is the birth of written language, then they would cease to be prehistoric and we would have to change it. It's just that, as we often say, what kind of medium were they using? If it's stone, then we might luck out and find it. If it's organic, like they were actually writing on either, maybe it could be like wooden, or maybe a combination of wooden and clay that got destroyed, or maybe, who knows, maybe they were writing on freaking leather. Who the heck knows what they came up with out of necessity? And that's gone. And so now we think that that specific tribe of people are prehistoric, but in reality they are historical. It's just that the medium didn't preserve.
And, like, it's impossible to think that we didn't.
Your take on this video, Stefan. Are we being informed historically?
No.
No. It's basically vibes based. You know,
Yes.
I love the vibes of being like, wow, we're exploring time. But in terms of, is this an accurate representation of life in 10,000 BC? No.
So basically everything is wrong about this video. That makes it 3 out of 3.
There are mistakes left.
And what is crazy is these are not like a 30 minutes video. It's funny because I'd like to underline this as someone who's done historical content for a very long time, and I still do on my dedicated channel, Metatron History. Do check it out. But the one thing, link in the description, but the one thing I want to say is that even when I was making like 30 minutes mini documentaries, and people will tell me, it's a really good video, but there is a mistake on minute 27. Right, yeah, everyone makes mistakes, okay? Even super trained historians and archaeologists, they will make mistakes. Of course, the more trained you are, the less likely you are to make the mistake, but mistakes happen all across the board. Here's the thing, though. This is a short. So a short is like, what, 1 minute long? 30 seconds long? And there are so many mistakes? It's huge. Like, there shouldn't be. Like, a 30-second thing should be so curated if you're doing it for information. If you're doing it just as entertainment is one thing, but the guy does say he's all about the information, and already we don't like the format because it's AI. So if you really want to win us over, I'm going to speak to the creator now, no hate towards you. You know, if it works for you, you're making money, paying for your bills, whatever. But I'm saying if you want to win us over, not only you're already at a disadvantage because we don't like AI, but also when it comes to this, like, because this is a replacement of the creator. You know, that's the problem. But if you want to win us over, then if you're making a 30 seconds, 60 seconds clip, and you got to make it, like, it needs to be right.
Right and center.
And by this time I was wondering, like, how does he make his content? So I searched online and I found this video, the sky video I showed you before.
I watched it.
Where he talks about his process.
Just before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
Okay.
So it's
So
prompts.
she's going to say, okay, so I just arrived in Pompeii and it is giving Roman holiday, but like real.
Then that AI-generated script is fed into the seed dance video AI model.
It's a clock.
So even the script is AI generated. It's not like he wrote the script. He just writes a prompt. The AI makes the script, he looks at it, he likes it, and then the AI generates the footage. And I imagine if he doesn't like it, he can regenerate it. But eventually, I mean, sometimes, you could keep changing the prompt and it gets weird. And at one point you'd be like, oh yeah, this one is fine. At the end of the day, it's fine. He just won't do the temples right, but it's fine.
Prompt.
Bread. I know, mate. I know.
He doesn't only use AI to make his videos, he also uses AI to write the scripts.
Of course he does, yeah.
Remember when you were in high school and the teachers told you can't use Wikipedia to write your essay? Wikipedia is great if you're high as a kite at 3 a.m. and you want to read up about the Ajuba airplane house. But it's not great if you want to make content that informs millions and millions of people. It's Wikipedia where the AI will just grab the information and sort of Frankenstein it together into something that seems passable at first glance. But if you know anything about the subject, everything falls apart.
Well, that's the problem. You need to know anything about the subject. I actually tested it. First and foremost, it's going to fill it with M dashes. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the M dash, but AI tends to overuse them. And then the second thing, it's not X, it's that Y. You will see that spammed everywhere with AI. I think advanced language models do have a place in language stuff, and I do use them sometimes. Like if I am because I write my own scripts, right, for the scripted content. I do a lot less scripted content now, but I still do it. So I write my scripts, and then sometimes if I'm reading it over and I notice, man, I said however 15 times, that's me, all right? I'm like, so I will take my own section, I will put it inside a language model, and I'll say, could you give me some alternative ways so remove the howevers and instead give me alternatives, and it will do it. And basically I'm using it as a glorified thesaurus, and I don't think there is anything wrong with it. Or sometimes I ask the AI, hey, I did my very best, but can you check my punctuation? The AI will do it. But then again, even like when I'm writing my own book, I use the AI to help me with these kind of things, but I'm still paying professionals. To do the final check. So it's not that AI is that devil, but if the AI is writing the whole thing, it will make a lot of mistakes. For instance, even in language stuff, I asked the AI specifically, what is the pitch of these words in Japanese? And it fucked up 3 out of 5. So these were words that I already knew the pitch for. And then after I correct it, the AI will be like, oh yeah, sorry. I wonder how, because I mean, the pitch is available. So how is the AI messing that one up? But then once again, if it messes that one up, it's going to mess up something about Mount Vesuvius and all the rest.
It's extremely annoying, especially if, like me, you make videos where you spend countless of hours finding articles, reading books, talking to experts to try and make sure your videos have a factual basis. But
I've done that for years, and I've had a team. I still have the team. It's just that we work less now because I push out less content that is highly researched like that. But brother, last year alone, I spent $12,000 just as an answer for those people who say I actually don't have this team of academics. Then explain to me why I spent $12,000 for one of them, just to help me with the research and the scripting, meaning that he provides me the information that is correct and highly researched because he can put a lot of hours into it because I'm paying him well. And then I take that information and I use it to write my own script that then I have an AI language model check for grammar errors. That's a lot of work. And at one point, with YouTube making them 10 out of 10, it started to become impossible. Why? Well, because there is AI stuff that is cannibalizing the views. And so here we are.
It's obvious that he presents himself as something different, as something worthwhile, as something informative. But even when people correct him in the chat, he doesn't update his descriptions or anything. But Chloe vs. History is not the only project he has. I found this podcast where he talks about his second project, Majestic Studios. For this project, he uses actual historic sources.
My channel is taking those historical sources and going one step further and actually making those photorealistic and then turning those photorealistic images into moving scenes.
So I saw this and I thought, okay, this is a lot better. He's using historical documents to make these videos. It's a lot better than just prompting Claude. And again, I want to say this guy really seems to care for history.
And actually, I really enjoy doing the research. I love finding a hidden little gem that shows that city in the 18 or 1700s is just the best feeling. So I actually get like endorphins when I find it.
Anyone that has ever done historical research knows this feeling.
Totally.
The feeling that you get when you find this source, when you find a piece of information, a quote, a document. It's really the best feeling. So I thought, let's see how he does this. Maybe this is different.
Okay.
So he made a video about Amsterdam. This is where I come from. I also made a video about it. So it's nice that he uses actual historical documents. It's a bit gimmicky for me, but if you enjoy that kind of stuff, sure, go ahead.
Our story begins on the peaceful banks of the Amstel River at Ouderkerk, just south of Amsterdam. Centuries earlier, a dam was built here on the Amstel, giving birth to the city itself.
So he makes it seem as if a dam was built at Ouderkerk. Ouderkerk, if you look on the map, is quite a bit removed to the south of Amsterdam, so not at Ouderkerk. The dam was built on the Amstel, right smack in the middle of what is now the center of the city.
Man, he should hire you to fact check, just like I hire the guy in Italy. He should hire you.
The Amstel was Amsterdam's highway to the world. Goods flowed down this river from inland regions, heading to the city's ports.
Wait. The wood, I just saw the wood breathe. It went like...
and then across the globe.
Look at it.
The Amstel definitely wasn't Amsterdam's highway to the world. Let me show you a picture of actually the Amstel River. It kind of goes nowhere. The actual connection that Amsterdam had was to the Zuiderzee. And from there you have rivers that do go all the way to the rest of Europe.
I'm really enjoying this video, by the way. I don't know about you.
And you have the Zuiderzee itself that we used. So not the Amstel.
The church tower in the distance is Ouderkerk, where many wealthy Amsterdam merchants chose to be buried.
No.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's because the AI wrote the script.
Church tower in the distance is definitely not Ouderkerk. What's happening here is that you have a town called Ouderkerk, which means old church. But he's talking about Oudekerk, the old church. This is a church that you find in the center of Amsterdam. And this is the place where rich people would be buried. So it's completely different.
And let me tell you what's happening. So he's doing the research in the sense that he's putting in time into finding these documents, but then he's feeding them into the AI. And the AI told him, oh, this river was a connection and this church is this church used by the nobles. He doesn't know better. And so he's trusting the AI. And then he's having the script, animating it, boom, money printing machine.
This tranquil scene would soon transform as Amsterdam exploded in size and wealth. The peaceful riverbanks giving way to fortifications, warehouses, and relentless urban expansion.
Yeah, so the riverbank at Ouderkerk, still very far away from Amsterdam. Basically, nothing happened here, what he describes. There were no warehouses here. There were no fortifications here. That all happened closer to the actual city.
So, in other words, remember, it's not what he said. It's what the AI said after being fed the picture.
A lot closer. Until far in the 1800s, the city didn't reach further than the city expansion that they made in the 1600s. And even now, between Amsterdam and Ouderkerk, there's just a lot of greenery and nice houses next to the river.
Notice the windmills dotting the ramparts. These weren't grinding grain, they were pumping water.
So I didn't know this windmill, but I do know that windmills on ramparts definitely were used to grind grain. So I searched for it. And you can find it here on the Rijksmuseum site.
Okay.
It's called the Westerbeer. Now, because people care about history and people are amazing, there's a windmill database. And on this database, we can actually find this windmill.
Okay.
And its function is een korenmolen, or literally
Korenmolen.
a grain mill.
Oh my gosh, this guy's destroying him. Whoa! Wow.
I mean, if you look at maps of the city expansion, you can find windmills along the ramparts. They did this because Dutch people are entrepreneurs and they want to make money. Now, Amsterdam did have a very intricate network of sluices and windmills. Just, yeah, this wasn't it.
Can you imagine?
This is not a gate in Amsterdam. This is an Amsterdam gate in Haarlem, a different town. Often these gates would be called after the way that the road would lead you.
So I do want to say one thing, though. All of this that he is saying takes a lot of research. Now, I understand he's from Amsterdam, but if this guy made a video, the AI guy, about my city, Palermo, I mean, there might be some things that I would be like, bro, the sea doesn't hit this area of Palermo. Like, I would know that because I'm from there. But then if he shows like a random freaking gate or battlement, if I know it because I'm like, bro, it's called Palermo Gate, but it's in Agrigento. But if I don't know that, I would have to research. I think he's put a lot of time into debunking this one single video. This is insane. What are the views of that video? Because that will justify anything that we're trying to figure out.
From Haarlem to Amsterdam, you would pass through the Amsterdam Gate. Also, if you know anything about historical building sites, this is obviously not a 1600s building. And I see here it's from 1355.
Not obvious to the AI.
These two imposing blockhouses guarded the southern approach to Amsterdam along the Amstel. Built as defensive structures in 1651, they protected the city's wealth from Spanish armies, rival Dutch cities, and English naval forces.
Right, so
let's see.
So I've lived in this city for over 30 years, but I've never seen these. Concerning the Spanish...
see, that's what I was saying. Like, for Palermo, maybe he'll show something. I'm like, what is he on about?
In 1648, there was peace, and no one wanted war again. The Dutch were part of the United Provinces, so there wasn't fighting, like, in between the cities.
The First Anglo-Dutch War would break out just a year later. These blockhouses were the city's response, serving both as military defense and customs posts.
They built these fortifications for a war that hadn't happened yet. The Dutch and English were even talking about a potential alliance at this exact moment. Still, why did I not know about these? Well, they were torn down 3 years later, in 1654. Here's a print in the Rijksmuseum. And it shows you why it is built, after a coup attempt in 1651. So this is nothing to do with the English.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. Bro, usually I don't react to the entirety of a video, but I'm really invested here. So please go subscribe to this guy, because usually what I say is, okay, so let's stop with the video now and go finish watching it, but I can't stop. This is addictive. This is addictive. So instead, please go subscribe to the guy so that we give time to someone who puts in the research, you know, instead of our robotic overlords of Skynet.
With rival cities or even Spanish armies. So this is the first 5 minutes of the video. I think you can catch drift.
Yes.
Jonathan obviously doesn't know a first thing about the history of Amsterdam.
No.
And why would he? If you make a video like this, you do research.
Yes.
Now, the rest is basically a Wikipedia summary of the Dutch East India Company and stuff about the Dutch Republic. It's not as bad as the first 5 minutes, but what is ironic to me is that Jonathan is talking about trust.
My reasoning behind this is that it's all a matter of trust. It's coming from something. You're not asking AI to imagine something from a text prompt and you're just trusting what it spits out. The trust comes from historical sources. So that is an artistic impression. So you have to trust whatever that artist was doing at the time. He's looking at, or she is looking at this.
Brother, the artist is not the issue here. It's the AI that is the issue here.
City. You have to trust that that's what they can see.
He's talking about trusting these historical documents. Well, the first thing you learn as a historian is you don't trust the historical document.
Yeah, there could be artistic devices and that kind of stuff. Sure.
That's because often they will misinterpret what happened. They will tell a different story because there's reasons why people will tell different stories. Mm-hmm. I want to show you a picture that is of a sea battle that happened during the First Anglo-Dutch War in 1653. In this painting, you see a lot of ships. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a 17th century battle in real life, but this looks kind of crowded, right? Should we trust this? As you can imagine, this is not how it happened. The painter got a bonus for every mast he could fit in the painting.
Seriously?
So he got paid very well.
Oh, yeah.
And we should definitely not trust it as a source.
And there are channels out there that don't use historical sources at all, and they're doing a similar concept to me, like the entire history of X. But they won't use historical sources, and they'll just get AI to invent what they think.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like within the AI slop, he's probably a little bit better. He's on the surface of it, but it's still AI nonsense. And as demonstrated, I don't think you're I don't want to sound mean.
And I just think that's a missed trick.
The problem is that he's not just trusting the documents, he's putting his full trust in a Claude prompt.
True.
That's kind of ironic because he does care about getting things right or wrong.
A powerful tool, but Jonathan is still the creative director.
I've had to edit this one as well because she's holding 2 forks.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And, man, I didn't even know. Because I was looking at the beef.
Because your focus is on her face.
But
actually, my focus was on the beef because to me it was a little underdone.
He seems more busy with making sure the AI doesn't show 2 forks than actually showing what happened in the past.
Correct.
What's frustrating is that correcting misinformation takes so much more time than it is to produce it. By the time that I had finished doing my research, writing the script, he had made 5 more videos.
Of course.
And judging by the comments, I don't think people have the knowledge, the time, or the tools to find out what's real and what isn't real.
It's a massive money cheat, guys.
A lot of people in the comments are saying this is really good, historical, accurate information. And that just makes me really sad.
Of course.
If I have some wildly inaccurate thing in the video, I have to take it down. I can't...
Brother, you can edit it out. Come on now. I've done it before. I've said something nonsensical, someone corrected me politely, and I just edited it out. You can say that, and you can even write a pinned comment. You don't have to take out the whole video, unless the whole video is wrong.
I can't live with it being up on the internet. I also create artwork for my videos with an artist. We'll get so...
Same. Used to do that with my friend Michele.
Particular on it. You know, even to the point, forgive the pun, if like a spear is not historically accurate, and it's a little detail that maybe no one notices, or very, very few people notice, but like, if you're going to portray a particular point in history,
he's right.
You might as well portray it as accurately as possible. Especially in the world of AI, when you have like infinite goes, right? You have an infinite attempt to make it correct.
AI is a tool, and it doesn't have to be the enemy of history. Most of the information about history we get from archives.
Right now, it is, though. It absolutely is the enemy of history. Anyways, I'm going to stop here. Last 2 minutes, I'm sure he's going to tell us why AI could be good, bad, whatever. I liked the video very much, the present past. I really appreciate your work that you've put into this. I'm glad the video did really well for you, and I hope that more people that maybe didn't know you will come and check out your content, because at the end of the day, yes, AI is the enemy when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it is what it is. Thank you for watching. Muppets. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.